You're saying my wife isn't easy to jerk off to?
This is gonna be super awkward no matter what.
Attacking my wife on the show. I would never say that about your wife.
2 minutes.
So they're all smitten, and they
you
let her
hope
take.
Hallmark makes so your wife is in fact easy to jerk off to.
It's a positive thing. I'm saying I enjoyed. I'm thinking right now about it.
Thank you. Heath, you're forgiven.
God awful movie.
Welcome back to the GAMcast, where each week we sample another selection from Christian cinema, except when Christian cinema just isn't insane enough for us. I'm your host, Noah Lugeons, and sitting to my immediate left is my good friend Heath Enwright. Heath, welcome back.
Thanks, Noah. Everyone get ready for bad puns and math nerd jokes.
Oh,
that is my role. That's what I bring to the table. And my greatest insecurities were realized on the air while I was gone. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Cool.
Hey, I cut the proposal. And
no, you're not fat. That's fine. No, I'm big boned. Whatever. Great.
And, of course, sitting 81 miles to my right is my bad friend Eli Bosnick. Eli, how are you this fine afternoon, sir?
I'm a fucking Hindu. That's how I am. Oh, what a 2-year anniversary present for us, huh?
Right?
The first year, you go out to a nice dinner, and the second year, you do something weird. It's fitting. It's real fitting. This is the dog costume anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and we are getting into it.
Oh, my fucking God. All right, without further ado, tell us, Heath, what the fuck did we watch?
We watched Dashavatar. It's the story of... It's complete nonsense. It's nonsense. It's like a toddler on acid telling you a 2-hour story. It's ridiculous. They should just call it, and then, hello, today. It's like a baby David Cross on acid telling a story. It's fucking crazy.
And Eli, how bad was this movie?
It was fucking awesome. That's how bad it was. It was not. First of all, it's on Netflix. Look, I know we tell you like, hey, you don't have to watch this one or you can watch this one. No. 2 years of my life. I don't know if I care about Jesus. People do a thing. I care about Jesus now. And then I fucking peek it right here with this shit. This whole episode could just be us describing the movie. Not a single joke. We could just describe the pictures. There's not a boring second. There's awesome musical numbers. Pause the podcast, watch this movie, and take the ride with us, because it is worth it. It's on Netflix.
Those are my notes. It's just, and then this happened. Literally, that's all I have.
Exactly. That's all you have. Yeah, okay. So I've got to, before we dive all the way in, I want to give you a good idea. So this is a series of Hindu legends about the first 9 incarnations of Vishnu in cartoon form, in kid cartoon form. But they're just like weird old fables that were designed before stories made any fucking sense and only work if you don't visualize them, which is what a cartoon is.
So fucking animated.
Yeah. And what that means is this movie is going to be a huge challenge for us to describe, because the following sentences literally occur in my notes, okay? And these are not like, oh, I just came up with a funny thing to say type notes. These are just keeping track of the action on the screen notes. All right, these were my 3 favorites. 1, so the demon leaps into the sea to fight a water pig with his giant lollipop, ... 2, and now an evil seahorse with a mohawk flies through outer space, ... And finally, also, dolphins are helping the chipmunks build a bridge for the army of monkeys in diapers. It's like telling someone, this whole episode is going to be like telling you about a dream I had 3 weeks ago. So as we go through this,
2 hours.
Yeah, right. We are trying to squeeze 3,000 years of Hindu crazy into a 2-hour episode. Like imagine we watched a cartoon that was just the Bible, but we'd never read the fucking Bible and didn't have any idea what kind of craziness we were getting into. Right? It's like that, but with brown people.
Well,
we'll
get there, but there's less brown people than I would have guessed. I'll just say that.
Well, more blue than brown. More blue than brown.
You're right, especially amongst the good guys. All right. Is there anything you guys want to nominate this one for being the best at being the worst at?
Yeah, I'm going to say best worst angry animals because they're so resentful. Every animal looks like they just got like slingshotted into a pig's house just moments ago. I feel like the guys who made Angry Birds clearly saw this movie and then made a game.
Yeah, or vice versa. Yeah. Made a religion based on Angry Birds.
I'm going to go with best worst surprise. It's Vishnu. Now, I'm assuming you already turned off the podcast, went and watched the movie. You fucking should have. If you're not, stop it. Go watch the movie. It's amazing.
Strong disagree.
Yeah.
But, well, you already downloaded it, so it's fine. Whatever happens from here on out, share it with a friend. Whatever you want to do. Really, it's up to you. But what I'm saying is, this is the best worst. Anytime there's a thing and you're like, oh, what the fuck's that? Guess what? It's Vishnu. It's always fucking Vishnu.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, like I said, we go through 9 incarnations and really 10 because one of them they don't count. But we go through 9 different incarnations of Vishnu. So 9 times in this movie, it's like, surprise, it was Vishnu the whole time. It's like, yeah, we know now because you've spoiled it. I was going to go with best worst montage and also second best worst montage and also third best worst. I'm not going to spoil them now, but be on the lookout for 3 of the most fucked up cartoon montages of all time as we go through this. And we can argue later about which is 1, 2, and 3 there. All right, well, we've got about 900 pages of notes to get through here, so we're going to keep the break brief, and when we come back, we'll dig into all the infanticidal just-so stories that are Dashavatar. All right, are you guys ready to... Damn it, guys! I just set those up.
Grant me a boon to defeat Heath.
Guys, what are you doing?
Boons.
What the hell is up with those outfits?
Oh, we're Hindu now.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, did you watch the movie Giant Fish Rattle Fights? It's fucking awesome.
Rattle fights, Noah. Rattle
and it
fights.
all ends in Buddhism. Buddhism, the best one.
Okay,
the best
guys,
religion.
Look, I know this week's movie is fun and weird, but it's still religious bullshit, and we still have to break it down.
Okay. Or you take one of these rattles, and I let you be Pig Vishnu.
Ooh, Pig Vishnu. So fun. You should do it.
Dibs, Pig Vishnu. Vishnu.
And we're back for the breakdown. So we're going to open up on 18,000 production logos, followed by Ganesha.
Which I just am now learning is not a production logo. That was a god.
Yeah, just quick question about Ganesha. It's the 4-arm god with the elephant face.
Yeah.
Do you think Ganesha has 4 dicks? And like a dick trunk? Do the dicks, what do you think?
I'm willing to bet
Trunk
they
and
have a
dick-wise?
multi-dick god in there somewhere. We'll look it up. We'll look it up. Or if you're a Hindu and you're listening,
add it to the book.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's a new idea. So now we cut to outer vagina space where a 3-headed dude is spouting out of a lemon. It's going to all be like that, guys. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, okay.
These
Is this
tabs
the
were double-sided.
Is this the actual origin story of Hinduism? The universe started when a 3-headed white guy emerged from like a wilting vagina? Is that
I think that's
the
what's
beginning of
going
Hindu
on.
stuff? Okay.
And we established that heaven is for the gods, earth is for people, and netherworld is for demons who are not bad people. They are just like a separate thing, and they're just like generally dicks. But not all of them.
They're brown people. And we're going to get into that, but they're brown people. Yeah, and I also, according to this cartoon, the orbits of Jupiter and Saturn cross, apparently.
Yep.
Also,
That is
they're
true.
very close to the Death Star. I'm 4 seconds into this movie.
Aren't they running into each other on like the 19th or something? You told me about. I'm pretty sure they smash into each other. You're going to see it, right?
He's going to go see it. Exactly. And his dad's play. So we're going. And at this point, we should point out that there is a combination of drawn animation and static shock level 3D animation in this movie.
Yes.
And it changes at a moment's notice. You'll be looking at like a cartoon bird flapping his wings, and then you're like supposed to be on Saturn, and there is absolutely no transition.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so after the astronomically accurate opening a la the Jetsons, we get the first of many songs. This is the Hail Lord Vishnu song.
And I'm 100% in, by the way, because this music, the beat dropped. It was like, and then it was like, boom, It was fucking awesome. So I'm whatever this religion is.
Okay, so can we talk about the hard transition in this? Because this whole thing starts off about like happy. It has like sort of a Lion King presentation, a Simba feel to it, and all the animals are super happy. And then it takes this really dark turn, but the music doesn't change.
Oh, you mean when it is like the planets, the stars, and then a man kills a baby?
A man kills a baby with a sword.
In the montage, it's just like, the grass will grow, the leaves will fly. A guy kills a baby with a sword. The ocean flows. And I feel like someone in the animator's room was like, hey, sorry, I'm really thrown by one of these. The ocean flows? Yeah. Figure, nature imagery.
Yeah, but literally, okay, so we see that, the world was great, but then it started to take a turn for the dark. So we see this snake, and it's about to eat these two baby birds. And because that's too gruesome for you, we cut away to a man barging into a house, murdering a baby with a sword. Now, to be fair, we only see that in shadow, but we see that in shadow. And then we get, like, the whole village being enslaved and burned to the ground and people being whipped.
This cartoon will contain multiple murders. Multiple.
Lots of them.
Lots of murders.
That will not be the least justified murder in this movie right there. That baby in the credits. We don't know what that baby did. So yeah, but just then, as the world is completely turning to shit, Vishnu shows up.
Well, a yellow blade from a skill saw shows up. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, that's Vishnu's magical vaporizing golden saw blade boomerang.
Yeah, one of his items. He's got a vaporizing lightning saw boomerang, a lantern, because, a shell, and a flower, I gotta admit, seems kind of useless, that flower.
Yeah, occasionally.
They descend in level of importance.
Well, occasionally I'll have 6 arms and throw in a bow and some other shit there, but yeah.
Get a Leatherman or something. It's just a weird choice.
Yeah, it seems weird to have those 4 arms, but always have shit in the hands. It's like, can I have 2 other hands to just manipulate things with? But yeah, but here's the fucked up thing, right? So he shows up in the middle of this terrible part of the song, and he uses his golden saw blade to save those 2 little birds the snake was about to eat, not the baby that was going to get murdered. He doesn't go save the baby. He saves those 2 little birds.
Well, he does what he can. Here's the thing. You show up late and the party's already started. Baby's already dead. Least he can do is kill those snakes with his razor light disc.
That's true. I'm being awfully demanding.
You don't want to set the stage for saving babies' lives. This movie would get complicated.
I feel like you're being real harsh on Vishnu.
Yeah, no, I am. Yeah. I need to dial it back a little bit, be a little more culturally sensitive. He's not.
I like Vishnu. He's my favorite character in this movie.
Well, not mine. We'll get to mine eventually. But all right. But first, we're going to get a spinning headline thing. This is how we're going to get into the movie proper. The headline says, "Businessman's children kidnapped, huge ransom demanded." And as we're looking at that, we're listening to mom and dad in the background. And dad is very clearly abusing mom, like beating mom over the kids getting kidnapped.
He sure is. He is really blaming mom.
And there's a smack sound. We will never. It's not going to turn out that dad is the bad guy. We're never going to revisit this or anything.
Are we saying bad parenting is not the problem for kidnapping? I feel like.
Well, I'm saying the fact that the dad is just casually beating the mom over it, and the cartoon doesn't really ever address that was a bad behavior is a little scary.
We don't know it's not her fault, though.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. Well, we can guess it's your fault.
It probably is her fault.
Yeah.
Jesus,
good
Christ.
parents. I mean, I know Thomas will have a scientist on to be like, "Oh, it's such a rare thing." But, you never land snake eyes if you don't roll the dice. That's what we're saying here, is if your kid gets kidnapped, it's probably your fault.
Jesus Christ.
Be better.
I just like to distance myself from myself. All right, so now we cut to the kids running through a haunted forest into Luigi's mansion, apparently. Yeah. And there's goons that are trying to chase him down, kidnappers.
Yeah. And they lock the door behind them, and the goons are trying to batter the door down with each other. It's pretty silly.
Yeah, and I think we should like focus in on that at least a little bit, that this is very clearly a kid's cartoon. The humor is for kids. The protagonists are kids. This is not like it, because when we say shit like, and then they murdered a baby, you're going to be like, I've watched some pretty gruesome cartoons. This is definitely made for 8-year-olds.
Well, white 8-year-olds. Are Indian kids mostly white? Again, with the white characters.
Well, they're because we will later meet the parents, and they are Indians. So apparently, it's like a Pokemon thing. They reach a certain level and they darken up, or it's a sun exposure thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but there is a very clear, like, the good guys are white, the bad guys are brown in this movie.
And have a mustache.
Yeah, and
mustache equals evil.
Yeah, very much so.
Speaking of which, so the bad guys are trying to break in, and then the main bad guy shows up. He has the mustache. That's how you can tell. And he recommends that they just set the door on fire, and that way they don't have to break it down. Now, meanwhile, the two kids, it's a brother and a sister, and the little boy is very clearly blaming God for their situation.
Yeah, they really have differing opinions on who's to blame for this. She's like, let's ask God for help. And he's like, fuck God. God put us here. God is the problem. It puts a copy of God Delusion, shoves it under the door to try and block the fire.
But the little girl does pray to Vishnu, who hears them, makes it rain, puts the fire out.
Gets off his snake bed.
Well, yeah, he has to get off the snake bed.
I want to see someone pray for help with a grease fire and see the rain happen. That would have been fun.
Shit, guys, I wasn't thinking.
This isn't.
I didn't tell you what I was doing on the snake bed, but my head wasn't super there.
I thought I was doing sulfur. Fuck.
Yeah, that's on Vishnu. That's on VN.
I also love that the little boy is just like, well, there's still bad guys out there, Vishnu. Like, I'm not super impressed. Because that opens the door for Vishnu to then ghost kung fu all the bad guys.
Yeah. And to be fair, the little boy's like, we don't really know what happened. And I'm like, fuck you, little boy. Now you're being a dick. You need to give Vishnu some fucking credit. Once he ghost slams the bad guys, you got to be like, hey, Vishnu, thank you. I appreciate the intercession.
Force push was good. The grease burns, but the force push was solid.
So the bad guys are gone. They walk out, and this is where they run into the priest, who's like, oh, yeah, no, you're okay because you prayed to Vishnu. And the little girl's like, no, I actually prayed to Krishna. And the priest's like, yeah, that counts as Vishnu. And the little girl's like, our religion is weird.
And he's like, oh, religion. Really? Am I about to tell you a story about Vishnu stapling himself to a tree because he's mad at you? No. I'm going to tell you some basic morality tales that are online with the Greek myths, but we all agree are just myths. All right, buckle the fuck in. Also, we got to deal with this now because it never gets addressed. And unfortunately, me Googling, why do they say Naharin every time they talk, yielded nothing. But the priest, every time he begins to speak, will go, Narin.
It's, Narayan, I believe is the word, yeah.
Well, he's the ultimate god, right? Isn't he he's like the highest level god?
The reflection of self or whatever, the highest reflection of self.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Also, it can mean Vishnu and it can mean human being and all kinds of weird shit. But that's like
his catchphrase. He opens all of his sentences with and he's never like, I do that because that's my thing. He's just, it's like a vocal tick. It's his version of a stutter. It's very distracting throughout the movie. I don't know why he does it. Do we know why he does it?
No, it's just the Hindu sage thing that the priests say, I guess, and we're supposed to already know that going in.
And a few other people catch the tick, actually.
Yeah, eventually, yeah, exactly. So he offers to like take them to Hindu heaven and teach them all about Vishnu's first 9 avatars for the rest of this movie. But first, they have to recite the heaven getting to mantra.
Mm-hmm.
With him.
They get a little magic spell. Also, he says he's willing to introduce them to eternal truth, and a full-grown man willing to introduce 2 children to, quote, the eternal truth in the rain when they're all alone. I'm just saying, I call my penis the eternal truth from now on. Because it's disappointing.
He's got no shirt, gauge earrings, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really weird when Eli walks up sometimes.
So they say their magic spell, and that opens a wormhole to a place where they're dressed like priests and shit. And I love that the little boy is still like, I don't know. This could be anything.
This kid. Way too skeptical. Way too skeptical. You are in fucking heaven. Little gratitude.
Yeah. So also this is where we meet Smoking Hot Genie, who will show up in the movie to occasionally cry. This movie is absurdly easy to beat off to.
Yeah,
for
absolutely. Especially Vishnu, because Vishnu's got those sweet abs. He's got those lines just above the thighs, under the abs. It's a good thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Krishna's pretty hot, too. So we're now going to learn the story of the first incarnation of Vishnu, I guess, which involves a magical, evil space seahorse with a mohawk.
Right.
Horse Frogman.
Horse Frog.
Blue Lagoon evil creature guy. Yep.
Yeah, that's him. So evil seahorse must learn the Vedas from Brahma in order to become immortal, which would be bad, I guess.
So it's basically Inception, right? Is when Brahma sleeps, he like sleep mumbles all the good of the universe. And if the horse can memorize them, he'll be immortal, obviously. Duh. So he does, and he starts destroying planets with his fucking fireball attack because, yeah.
All right. So, well, okay. If you're like accidentally
really, you have questions?
Uncontrollably reciting the secrets to the universe that evil people can just like fly up and eavesdrop on, like maybe get a CPAP or something. Like, what are you doing?
Or private sleeping quarters. I'm just, I'm throwing that out. By the way, Hygrieve apparently is the name of the evil seahorse demon that's stealing the Vedas. Yeah, and the genie chick is super worried about this. The kids that are watching on, and that's like a constant theme in the movie. The kids are always like in the clouds watching or whatever. They start to run away because there's a Bowser fireball attack going on. But this is where that priest, the Narayan guy, shows back up. And he's just like, don't worry, guys. Vishnu's got that shit.
He does. Because that's when Vishnu comes flying in on Bird Person.
Which is absolutely, positively the blue or the yellow angry bird that goes fast when you touch it.
Oh, see, I thought it looked like Bird Person from Rick and Morty to me.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, when we first see him, he's an angry bird, but then we see it later. It's like, oh, no, it's a human with an angry bird head and wings. Weird. So, yeah, and apparently Vishnu is looking for a good priest that can be the Manu. I have no idea what I wrote there, but that's what I wrote. Apparently,
I have the word Manu in my notes also.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
That happened.
So okay. With no transition, a sage picks a baby fish up who asks to be his pet.
It's awesome. The fish is like, "Hey, man, don't throw me. This is so much better than Noah's Ark because this is like their Noah's Ark." He's like, "Hey, man, don't throw me back in the water because the other big fish will fucking eat me." And he's like, "Don't worry, Nemo. I got you. You and I are homies. I'm going to put you in this pot in my house." Apparently, we legitimately do not have cups. There will never be a cup in this fucking movie.
Yeah, so he takes the sweet little fish home, and the fish, within a day, grows to approximately the size of a continent.
Right? I thought he was going to fuck that fish. So the story went a different direction than I did. But yeah, he gets super big. And he's like, whoa.
He's like too big for a bowl and then a well. And then he's like too big for the ocean at one point. And then he becomes an angry fish.
Yeah,
like like one of them would cut over some pigs with like their windows all fucked up and just a pile of huge fish on the floor. Like, oh, come on. This is ridiculous.
This is just supposed to make me buy bonuses and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Should we call I don't know.
And so basically, but this fish turns out it was Vishnu the whole time. And
He's Vishnu!
Yeah, that's of one of 10. And the priest is like, oh, dude, I am so sorry that I did not recognize you as a fish.
You were a fish. That's why I didn't recognize him. And Vishnu's like, don't worry about it, man. I get it.
Yeah, I was a fish. I mean, what are you going to do?
And their Noah's Ark is awesome because he's like, look, in 7 days, world's going to have a flood. So grab all the sages and the birds and seeds and a giant snake. Do you mind grabbing a bird, seed, sages, and a giant snake?
But before we can get to all of that, we have to have, like, Vishnu now has to fight the evil seahorse who is still part of this story, but sort of unrelated now, I guess.
Yeah! And Vishnu, this is one of, again, many fist fights we will watch Vishnu. This is like if your god was an Irish dad. This whole movie is just like, I remember the first time watching my dad fight. I thought, this is weird for adults to do. So Vishnu and the seahorse fight, and he kicks the seahorse in the dick so hard he vomits out all the Vishnus.
Betas. Yeah.
Betas.
So now that important thread is tied up, I guess we go to the universal flood, which seems unnecessary now. Right? It seems like you could be like, oh, you know what? I don't have to flood the world now. We got the Vedas back. We're all good. Mm-hmm. But no, he's got a reputation to protect. If you say fire and fury, you got to back that up the next day, apparently. So we cut to all of the people ready to get on Hindu Noah's Ark. And all of the people, they're going to repopulate the world, apparently, with 7 old men and a little people animal play set worth of livestock.
And I can't emphasize this enough, a giant snake.
Yes.
And also an ox by itself. Just by
My
somebody who's
wife
not
is
an
such
ox.
a bitch.
Somebody who's not an ox is planning to fuck that ox. That's what's clearly happening here.
Well, they didn't bring any women, so they have to repopulate somehow.
But they do have the ox and that giant snake, which, again, another weird, like, how important are giant snakes? Can we make some cuts?
I feel like they didn't, like somebody's like, who invited the 29-foot cobra, guys? Damn it. We only have so much. He's like, we were all just walking this way, and he started fucking coming. Oh, no.
The snake just shows up to all their parties. Hey, guys, what's going on?
Oh, you're going to do the history all night.
We're all taking separate Ubers away. Cool, later.
Wait, I was going to play the guitar.
I am the guy who says yes on Facebook and then actually shows up.
And now the Black Pearl shows up to get him. I think it's worth pointing out, unlike Noah's Ark, this is not a large boat.
It's like a 40-footer for every animal and plant in the universe. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but luckily, unlike Noah's Ark, it does have a means of propulsion, which is apparently giant fish Vishnu.
Yep.
Vishnu,
indeed.
Giant Vishnu. So he drags him around, and eventually they show up at Hindu Mount Ararat, and then they thank Vishnu for killing everybody except them. And apparently that's the end of that story.
Well, tiny moment. The eagle sees the land first and flies off like a dick for dibs. I just want to throw that out there. The moment where you can see the eagle be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And it's like, oh, fuck you, man. Oh, fucking wings.
And what were they waiting for? They're birds. Why do birds need a boat to be saved? Right? Nobody ever explains birds or other boats in any of the flood scenarios in any religion.
Yeah, no, it was a fun one. So, all right, so now everybody's happy in heaven and earth, and hot chicks in heaven are on swings, but it's getting a little cloudy.
And also, it seems like they could have played up heaven a little bit more than swing sets. Like, that's fun. And it's not even swings. It's one swing, right, well, and 2 other people are waiting. Like the idea of mediocre heaven is funny, but that's weird for like a propaganda movie. You get there and you want to play FIFA, but all the controllers are taken, and you finally get one, but the stick's kind of loose, and you're like, all right, can I get the one that works?
And it's FIFA, so what are you gonna do? Oh
FIFA's
yeah,
awesome.
I can look at soccer. I can participate in the 8th most boring sport in the world.
FIFA and soccer are both fantastic.
Oh, attack Heath on internet.
Debate me. Debate me on Thomas's show.
So it turns out, okay, so storm clouds start rolling into heaven. The hottie sage or chick, whatever nymph lady from before, runs to the Narayan guy, who is apparently the argument muse, I guess.
He's like the Loki figure. I Googled him. He's the Loki figure, except apparently he's the Loki figure who doesn't start any of the problems in any of the myths. He just always shows up and he's like, hey, Vishnu, something's happening. I know I'm the Loki figure, which would be weird because I should kind of start it, but I'm really just here to tell you about it. Again, things have calmed down a little. I could start some trouble, but yeah, this is not on me this particular time.
Yeah, that's his function in this movie.
It's like the Joker calling the cops.
Could you get shit calmed down on my street? I've got a plan.
Hello, Batman. I'm sorry about this, but there are 2 gentlemen outside, and they're just sort of hanging out, and I don't know what's going on. They're not threatening, but I don't feel comfortable. I'm a clown, so,
And it turns out that this story is the story of the curse of Sage Durvasa, who got all pissed off because Indra didn't like the garland that he made for him.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. Like, I am kind of on Durvasa's side. He's like, hey, man, I made you one of those little weird flower things from Hawaii. And he's like, dude, that is so fucked up. I'm going to have my elephant stomp on it. This is a piece of shit. You suck.
Yeah. And then Durvasa's like, fine, I'll fucking destroy heaven. That's one of my powers. Bloof.
Yeah, right. It feels like you wouldn't piss off the heaven destroying guy. Or
grant heaven destroying as the thing one can do. I don't know. We're intelligently designing things.
Yeah, no, you can really just cut this off at the root.
One of many notes I have for Hinduism.
And I love this scene too, because like the sage guy's like, well, only Vishnu can fix this. And then we immediately cut to Vishnu going, man, I can't fix this with Family Guy timing.
He's like, yeah, I got this whole DOJ thing. Can't really make all these fucking decrees just left and right.
Yeah, it's their jurisdiction. So what we need to do is churn the sea.
Now that's sea as in the water, not sea as in cunt.
Yeah. Yep. Churn the sea and take the riches you find there and use them to rebuild heaven.
Yes, but to do that, for all that churning, you're going to need the help of the demons.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the other, like, minor gods?
Yeah, all the minor gods.
The minor god. The fat little one is my favorite. The fucking, like, it's like three guys who all look like Vishnu, but then, like, just Danny DeVito with a gold helmet. With, like, Peter Griffin's face, his, like, testicle chin. It's the greatest.
It's heaven. You guys don't want some bread? Look at all this. Unlimited samosas. You guys are fucking crazy. You're over there stepping on flowers. I'm having unlimited samosas. It's fucking delicious. I never get the runs. I'm in heaven.
So they head out to churn the sea. Now, what this entails...
You're about to look craziest physical thing to happen.
Yeah,
in my life,
pretty
visually.
Silly. Your objections before are about to look pretty fucking stupid, Heath. So
yeah,
get ready to eat some humble pie.
All right. So here's how this works. First, Vishnu needs to turn into a giant turtle with a mountain on its back. Obviously.
Okay. Well,
obviously, duh.
So, and then you take a 9,000-foot snake. You wrap him around the mountain.
Lucky we invited him on the boat, Heath. Good thing he was on the boat, Heath. Heath and his friends standing there trying to fucking massage a mountain back and forth. No. Giant snake MVP.
Hell yeah.
He's the LeBron of this story.
So you get all the minor gods on one side and all the demons on the other side, like a tug of war thing, and you take turns pulling, and the mountain goes back and forth like a washing machine agitator, basically, and that causes bonuses and prizes to pop out of the ocean.
Yeah, you get a high score and prizes come out of the ocean.
What the fuck are we looking at? And by the way, I should say this is the first time we see the demons and realize that they're just brown people.
Yeah. Mustache brown people.
With horns. Yeah. Horns. They got horns.
Well, some of them. A couple of them have little tiny horns, but most of them don't. Generally, if it's a demon, it's just a darker skinned person in this movie. So they get back to churning now, and various power-ups appear along the way.
Right, but the demon guys are like, no, fuck that. Showcase showdown, pass. You wait for this. You always wait for this. I'm waiting for the nectar one. I'm not fucking stupid. And they were right. The next thing that pop up is
they were.
This is a dude with a jug of nectar, I guess.
Yeah, and so the demons run in, and they're all fighting over who gets to drink the nectar first and punching each other. And the gods are all standing back going like, this looks like a whole fucking mess. I will just go to Walmart the next day.
Except for Fat God.
Yes.
Eli God is like, no, I want the nectar too. And he tries to get in there. And they're like, seriously, dude, you always fucking do this. And he's like, sorry, it's just, there was food. I got excited. Right. Vishnu told us not to.
I didn't get cake last time. The line, nobody counted right. This always happens.
So, but as they're fighting, an absurdly hot cartoon walks up to tell them that they should share the nectar, and perhaps she will touch their penises later.
She's so
she also
good.
looks a ton like my wife. I just want to throw that out there.
See, you made this really awkward. I don't see the resemblance, but all of me and Heath's notes are, wow, is she easy to jerk off to? And your notes are, wow, she looks like my wife.
You're saying my wife isn't easy to jerk off to?
This is going to be super awkward no matter what.
Attacking my wife on the show. I would never say that about your wife.
A few minutes.
Weird. Result 2 years, and this is how the company falls apart.
So they're all smitten, and they let her
hope Hallmark makes your wife is in fact easy to jerk off to.
It's a positive thing. I'm saying I enjoyed. I'm thinking right now about it.
Thank you. Heath, you're forgiven.
I really hope she doesn't listen to this show. Or my dad. I'm looking forward to the play, Dad. I'm really looking forward to the play.
Hi, Anna. Heath saying hi.
So now all the guys are smitten, and they let her take the nectar to the gods first. But first they have to do like a dance.
A little look at that booty dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very clearly. And in case you're wondering which portion of her body we're dancing over, the camera zooms in.
It's the coin slot.
Yeah,
it's the coin slot.
And then she has like a little Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, like making them kiss each other and then she turns into crabs and she turns into a squid. She's a real jokester. It's a good time.
Yeah. She tricks the bad guys into being gay. That's like what's happening here. Like they're hugging her waist and then she like disappears and they're like sucking a dick all of a sudden.
Got him. And I just want to say, this whole musical thing is just a musical rendition of Every Woman I Know's other inbox on Facebook. Just
yes.
Like, you are so beautiful. Also involves Indian guys, so it totally works. And, I would love to meet you, beautiful princess.
The lyrics are really awkward compliments from like me in middle school. Just like blurting shit. Your voice is very melodious. Stupid.
Good.
I'm not.
It's like that because you sweat and I'm not wearing a bra. I'm not.
Look at me throw this football.
Right into the ground.
So the song ends, and just now, the head demon shows up and points out that the hot chick is just a more fuckable incarnation of Vishnu, guys.
Yep.
Duh.
Also, tiny little moment. Danny DeVito God gets blasted with a side tackle by a demon mustache guy in the middle of the song. It relates to nothing. They were just like, and we'll have that guy get tackled. Fat guy gets tackled.
It's fucking awesome. We also should point out, because this matters, while she's convincing the demons to fuck each other and stuff, she gives all the good gods the nectar.
Yeah, so the demons attack the gods, but they're all nectared up, so they murder the people that were helping them and just wanted their fair share of the spoils that they were promised. The good guys do.
Yeah.
And so the gods become powerful once again, and the curse of Durvasa is lifted, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, well, there we go.
Yeah.
So that was that whole fucking story. But just then, the demons that they just killed, those demons' mom shows up. They have the one mom. To point out that the gods are definitely not the good guys in this story.
And I love the very first thing we hear is like, Indra, Mom, Lois, Mom, Indra, Lord Indra.
So, yeah.
Lord Indra, Mom. Oh, my God.
It's fucking amazing. Also, want to point out, I really enjoy that the Hindu myths all build on one another. It was like, I get it.
Tied into it. Yeah, they're all in the exact same way, though. Like whoever, Vishnu just killed, somebody is vowing revenge on heaven now.
Still.
Yeah, so this is Dee Dee, and she goes to bitch at her husband while he's trying to meditate about all her kids getting killed. He seems super nonplussed by the kids getting killed part.
He is so irritated. She's like, honey, I hate to bother you, but the gods killed our sons, and I'm like super mad about it. So could you when you get a second, I know you're super busy.
He's like, come on, fourth quarter, God. Fine, whatever, murder the gods. Sounds great. I don't know.
Yeah, fine. Have twin sons of evil retribution.
Just attack heaven.
Leave me
what do we normally do? I don't know.
No, that looks like an important Twitter fight. I'm taking the blue card. Don't text me later and ask me if I have the card, because I do. I'm using it to go make more sons to kill the gods, okay?
So he grants her 2 twin sons of divine retribution via forehead palming. God sex seems really boring, right? Like, I mean, they all seem to want to fuck each other.
I'm into forehead palming.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
we don't kink shame here on God Awful Movies.
Thank you. Thank you, Eli.
Palming.
So,
if anybody's listening,
would you forehead palm my wife?
Wasn't.
So, all right. So we see the 2 sons that grow up to be evil and arrogant. Notice I didn't answer the question.
Anna, you know I would. I was just kidding.
So the 2 sons grow up to be all evil and arrogant and deer murdery.
Right. We learned this because they shoot a baby deer in the neck and then smash it with a giant rattle. That's a weird way to demonstrate characters in a cartoon.
What is that weapon? We have it throughout. It looks like the giant cigarette bulb outside the rest. The Smoker's Oasis. It's like a giant maraca is like a standard weapon for everyone.
All right, I'm a complete dork, so I know this. It's called a gata. It's like a giant mace or a gata yuta, and that's what it is. But I don't think you fight with them like swords.
How many did they have at the Battle of Agincourt? Maybe Cecil could tell us.
You got to listen to all the shows.
What are the dimensions? What's the diameter of one of those things? Let's get into it.
That does not seem. How did that happen? Like, I don't give that a pass. Who was like, all right, well, it looks like those guys over there have swords. Those seem to be pretty good at fighting. And one guy was like, no. Hear me out. Giant, heavy piece of metal on a stick.
Let me get a buoy and a metal buoy at a stick.
It's a mace. They use those throughout, like as melee weapons throughout medieval and the ancient world. That's the thing.
All right.
Well, it does look. I mean, in the cartoon, it's a gold lollipop, so like we can still make jokes about it. But
is that going through plate? Full plate.
All right. So the first of the brothers, the fat one, prays really, really good. So Brahma grants him immortality and unbeatable. Apparently, if you pray hard enough, Brahma gives you one wish, whatever it is, right? Called a boon. And he says, all right, I don't want to be killed by any human or any of the following animals. And he lists all the animals he wants to be invincible to. Seems like a weird way to do this. This will come back.
He's like snake. All right, that's all the S's, and the spider's like, oh.
So, and his name is apparently Hiranyaksha, and he is now the demon king, and he kidnaps the goddess of earth in an electric force field under the ocean, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they all pray to Vishnu again because all the other gods suck at everything.
Mm-hmm.
Their only play is to call Vishnu. Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's somebody in an electric bubble under the ocean. Vishnu has one special power that most people don't have. He can turn into a boar, and that's going to help you
get electricity out of
the ocean bubble electric thing.
Well, I think that's the bling, because he turns into a boar with bling. I think the bling grants him the ability to defeat the electricity.
Oh, was it not? Oh, okay. I thought, I mean, the boar was able to balance the bubble really nice.
Yeah, on his little nose, on his little tusks.
The boar was really well thought out.
Yeah, well, and it was a mer boar, obviously, because it needed to go to the bottom of the ocean there. At this point in the movie, if Vishnu had said, you know what, Pugga Pegacorn, guys, that's what we're going to need for this one, I would be 0% surprised.
Oh, the like 8th incarnation's just like some evil dragon, and Carl comes in, you messed with the wrong hombre. Who wants some garlic bread? Carl has some non-canonical qualities that I talk about when you're not listening to the podcast. He loves garlic bread.
So now, okay, Argument Muse shows up to goad the evil demon king, right? He's just like, man, I bet my buddy Vishnu could whip your ass. I bet you're scared of Vishnu, huh? Are you scared of Vishnu?
And he's like, I'm not at all scared of Vishnu. I have a fucking giant rattle. There's absolutely no way. I bet you he's hiding from me right now. And Narayan guy is like, actually, he's a pig right now, and he's saving that lady. And he's like, oh, fuck him. I'm going to go kick the shit out of Vishnu.
Really? He's a pig. Like, he's not doing Dr. Manhattan guy with the light. This is great. All right.
I feel like this is good for me.
Weird pick.
Yeah, so Hiranyaksha leaps into the sea with his giant lollipop of doom to fight a water pig. Yeah, that's what happened. But first, Pig Vishnu has to bring the Earth Goddess's electric bubble to the surface to save her. And then it's time for the fight. But he can't fight as the pig. He has to turn into Man-Bear Pig.
Man-Pig.
This character could not look more like Pumbaa on HGH.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. He looks like a Rule 42 of Pumbaa the pig. Like, he's absolutely... We're about to watch Timon give him a blowjob. Yeah, absolutely. A Timon with tits is about to start lathering up.
Wait, what's
they
Rule 42?
used that cartoon more than once. That's if it exists, there's porn of it.
Isn't that 34?
Yeah, 34.
34. Rule 34. Yeah. That's right.
42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Yeah.
I knew where you were going. Yeah. So they punch each other. The Demon King and Man-Bear Pig Vishnu punch each other for a while. They even have, like, Vishnu pulls out his own lollipop of doom, and eventually Vishnu gets the better of him, turns back into full boar, and then charges him to death.
Right.
Because when he was listing all the animals he didn't want to be able to be killed by, he forgot to say wild boar.
Got him. Got him.
Classic hubris. You didn't write Man-Bear Pig in the little fine print. Typical hubris.
Now, of course, he had a brother. So now that brother is going to vow revenge on Vishnu and destroy all the heavens or whatever. So it's time for him to pray to Brahma real super hard for Vishnu killing powers.
And I feel like Brahma should stop granting boons to just anyone who asks. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's I get Brahma likes the praying, but at a certain point, you're part of the problem, is what I'm saying. Brahma's part of the problem.
Definitely, Brahma is part of the problem.
And I feel like an occasional conference call fixes this whole problem with like a Trello board. Like, all right, like, how are we handling all the wishes from bad? Are we letting them attack heaven with the wishes? Or, all right, we should really work this through.
So he prays hard enough that Captain Planet can't stop him. And he finally gets his boon from Brahma, and he asks for much more specific invincibility.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm just like, you guys need Andrew, right? Like, Andrew would button that shit down. Vishnu would be like, fuck, there is no way I can kill. God damn it.
To fight Vishnu, and Andrew appears with like a stack of papers, and he's like, there you go, Vishnu. Oh, you're Hindu? Guess you don't have a lawyer then. Nice try. Good luck finding a Jewish guy to represent Vishnu.
Right, but he doesn't list anywhere near. He's like, all right, so God, men, animals, inside, outside, east, west, over. That's all the dualities, right?
Yes.
I said over and under, right? Yes. Okay, that's everything.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And some less inclusive language would help here, because, like, AIDS was not on his. He could have died of AIDS. That would not have been on his list. But anyway,
the movie cuts, and it's just the rest of the movie is Philadelphia, but in cartoon form. Tom Hanks.
Jesus.
I didn't bring up AIDS.
Hey, that would have been a much darker
absolutely
turn.
Brought up AIDS.
Noah brought up AIDS.
You brought up the cartoon of AIDS.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, mine was already in a cartoon. I'll share
credit. Can't tell our voices apart, Heath. You have to be able to tell our voices apart.
No shit. Boy, Jesus, look at my Twitter timeline. Whatever anyone says is something to tweet me about. Okay, so now
no one brought up AIDS, guys.
This guy is the Demon King. And his name, and listen up because I'm only going to say this once, is Hiranyakashipu. And from here on out, I'm going to call him King Mutton Chop, though.
Nice. Nice.
So he goes to all his soldiers and he's like, hey, guys, Brahma made me invincible and undefeatable, so don't really need you guys so much anymore.
I'm sure my wish was airtight. Did in and out, over, under, east, west, up, down. Somebody's like, what about left, right? Motherfuck, left, right. God damn it.
Did you do inside, outside?
Shit.
Yes. I did inside,
do
outside.
Daytime, nighttime. Yes, I got daytime, night. What about mid-evening? Fuck off. Hold on.
He's going to come at me from the center.
Spoilers.
This is so stupid.
But despite the fact that King Mutton Chop is invincible, he sends his not invincible armies out to do all the killing. He's like, go kill everybody I don't like. And then we get the first of those 3 montages that I was talking about. This is the post-massacre montage of the cartoon. And I'm not talking about like there's one scene where there's clearly a massacre. I'm talking about there is a montage of scenes of his armies walking away from massacres.
Very violent cartoon. Can't emphasize enough how violent this cartoon is.
But yeah, so apparently the people they were massacring were all of Vishnu's worshippers except one. Because apparently King Mutton Chop's very own son is a little Vishnu worshiping piece of shit.
Oh, man. And his bodyguard guy is like, dude, it is bad luck for your son to pray to the person you want to fight. Let me just say right now, that's a bad sign. Sign right around. If when Conor McGregor is climbing into the ring, he sees his son and his son is like waving a Floyd Mayweather poster, that's not a good sign. That is not, you don't want that. He's going to lose that boxing match because he's not allowed to kick, you see. Specializes in the kicking.
And we find out that the kid learned about Vishnu as a fetus.
Yes.
Which is a weird detail. Yeah. And I'm thinking at this point that like Vishnu's going to beat the demon by turning into a fetus because like he never mentioned unborn versus born in his list of things that can't beat him in a fight.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Yeah. A fetus fight wouldn't have been super out of place either.
Like
just
a bunch
slapping
of fetus
it back
ninjas
and forth on the floor like the Hulk, just a bat.
Strangling him with the umbilical cord.
Yeah, there you go. Using it like Indiana Jones, swinging from one side to the other. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But before we can get there, we have to have a little musical number. Now, this will be the trying desperately to execute the prince who is 9 years old musical number, which is going to include a lot of very porny shots of Vishnu.
Yeah, most of this montage is just super cheesecake shots of Vishnu's sweet bod. And that's what the kid is thinking about, right? That's what we're supposed to. It's like the kid, they put him in a cave full of fire snakes, but they're fine. They can't hurt him because he loves Vishnu. He's thinking about Vishnu's dick, and they try throwing him off a cliff, but he's thinking about Vishnu's dick, so Vishnu catches him in his big, strong arms. And then, all right, I don't want to be alone in this, so I need you guys to be with me on this. So it's they put him in a cave full of snakes, and then they throw him off a cliff, and then the third step is feeding him to a black woman while he's on fire.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Very clearly what they're doing.
How did that, like, decision get made? Like, all right, fuck. We did snakes. That didn't work. Fire. We did the cliff thing. Yep. And just all together. Feed him to a black giant lady. Let everything on fire. Yes!
You guys. I was so afraid you weren't going to be with me.
Like, it was going to be weird if we didn't say exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
If you didn't say black, that would have been awkward.
Awesome.
We both said black, right? Yeah, giant black lady light everything on fire. Okay.
I said black. I meant it.
But luckily for the kid, Vishnu shows up just in time, teleports him away before the flaming black lady can eat him. So now Dad comes in to set him straight himself. He says, hey, stop worshiping Vishnu or I'm going to murder you with my giant lollipop.
Right. And he's like, hey, I mean, look, Dad, you're going to do what you're going to do, but like, Vishnu's everywhere.
Yeah, and Dad's like, oh, is he in this pillar over here? And smashes one of the pillars in the room. How about this one? And he smashes. I'm like, those are probably holding something. Yeah, right.
I wanted so badly for the thing to collapse on him and Vishnu would be like, fucking got him.
Yeah. Well, that is certainly what I was expecting because that would be so in keeping with the type of story we're listening to, right?
But it's way stupider than that, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Because he's just in the pillar that he didn't smash.
Well, right. And also, I would like to point out that when he said I couldn't be killed by any man or animal or God, like building falling on you, that would count.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, we get Lion Vishnu.
The silliest looking lion with like freckles.
Yep.
It's like a lion with like shitty recessive Irish DNA. Vishnu.
I had imagine Lion-O tried his hand at mime.
I have him as Ryan O'Lion.
But so it's time for them to have a gotta fight, like a sword fight, right? Like with maces just going back. Anyway.
But way sillier because they're like, bonk,
oh, yeah.
bonk, bonk.
They might as well just like run into each other like when you have the giant fat suits on with like the big bowl thing in front of them. The weapon make no sense. I don't get it.
Right. At the end of sticks.
So now this is where Vishnu's going to out clever this demon brother. You see, he said he couldn't get killed by a man or a god or an animal, but Vishnu is now a man-god-animal. So, also he said he couldn't be killed in the day or the night, but it's twilight.
It's evening.
Yeah, it's in between. You didn't say anything about evening. And he said he couldn't be killed in the sky or in the air, but he's not on either. He's on Vishnu's thighs. And he said he couldn't be killed by any weapon, so Vishnu rips him to shreds with his bare hands. And yes, there's blood.
I don't understand, because I want somebody to be like, hate to be that guy, but we're clearly indoors. So what are you talking about?
We're on the porch. We're on the porch.
Brahma just floats down. He goes under the hood for an instant replay. Yeah, it's actually night and indoors. No, loophole thing didn't make any sense.
No, and now he's in the sky. You're fucked. You're fucked. So we watch Lion Vishnu disembowel a human being in this cartoon. And then he turns into this four-armed form and turns to the guy he just disemboweled son and says, "You're welcome.
You're king
You're
now.
welcome.
You okay?" And the kid's like, "Yeah, totally fine. I am not scarred at all." I feel like you could have told me to leave. I hate to give you feedback, Vishnu, because you just disemboweled my dad. But I think, do you want to step outside was the first thing you should have done when you showed up. That's my note for you.
Yeah, so that story's over now. And then Indra kills somebody else, and somebody else vows vengeance against heaven or something now again.
They ran out of vengeance against Vishnu, so it was like, Indra fucked up again. Indra.
That's the other thing they have to go. And I love to, at this point, even the kid, right? The kid that's watching along in the story is like, holy shit, this is repetitive, right? Jesus.
Only 6. I'm happy to look at the script, though. If you guys, somebody got a laptop, I can come up with one more thing than this as a plot device. You need one more thing.
Okay, so here's a weird little character arc for you. Now, Didi, the mom of the evil twin demons, is praying to Vishnu so that he can solve all the world's problems that came from whatever Indra just did or whatever. And Vishnu shows up and says, "Don't worry, I will be born of your womb in no time flat."
Yeah, and I feel like she was like, "Oh, hey, that is not what I signed up for. Actually, you know what? It's fine. It'll work itself. I'll talk to another god. Let me see if Shiva can drink some poison or something. I feel like born of my womb was not. Can't just turn into another animal, huh? Because you've turned into an animal twice in a row, and it feels weird that now you need to be born out of my womb. Can I give you that note? Can I give you?
Can you just protect my kids without being inside of my uterus? No.
And we should point out, Vishnu's wife is not happy. Okay, so because she wants him to kill the latest demon king, and Vishnu's wife is not happy about him spending 9 months in some other chick's vag, but it's because the king isn't that bad a guy, right? The demon king. She's like, he seems like a pretty nice. I mean, we had him over that one time for pizza, and he paid.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to kill him. This time, I'm going to trick him."
Yeah. Just going to outsmart him. So, all right. So now we cut to that king. That's King Bali, I guess. And he's entertaining Brahmins in his court.
Who are Brahmins?
They're the high caste.
The best of
the priest caste. Of the caste
that's
system.
in case someone didn't know. I knew, obviously. They're the high
obviously
caste.
you did, but yeah.
They have their own podcast called the High Caste.
They're the people that you would touch if you were in India and nobody else.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The people whose shadows you would allow on you.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're me. They're me. Okay, good to know. All right.
So this Brahmin...
They're the Jews of India, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Jesus.
Indians.
They're not the Jews of India. Of India. So
sounds like they're the Jews of India.
So this little tiny Brahmin comes in, and the king's being super nice because the king's super nice. And he's like, "Hey, Brahmin, you can have anything you want." And he says, "I only want 3 steps of land." And the king's like, "You sure, man? Because I could throw in a bottle of gin or something. Like, I don't know what you're into." And he's like, "Nope, that's all I want. 3 steps of land."
No? All right.
And the king's like, yeah, no, that's great. Let me wash your feet in an absurdly sexualized moment. And then the Brahmin grows into a universe-sized Brahmin. God damn it.
And the bad guy is like, see, it's fucking Vishnu. It's always Vishnu. Huddle up. Everyone take a knee. It's always fucking Vishnu, all right? This is not going to happen 4 more times throughout this movie. Always Vishnu.
And see, now that he's entirely giant and shit, his footsteps cover the entire world. So the 3 steps of land he wanted included heaven and the earth and the netherworld. And the other demons are like, hey, dude, that's cheating. You are so clearly fucking cheating. Let's kill him. But the king is like, no, because he's huge and he would fuck y'all up. So instead of my guys fighting you, I'm going to let you step on my head, giant Vishnu.
Go ahead and squish me. You got me. Go ahead and squish me. And he's like, you know what? I won't squish you.
Yeah, I'll let you be the ruler of the netherworld after all. And then that story's over. That's the happy ending.
Nice little compromise
on that story. Yeah.
I like it.
And of course, it's time for another song.
But this is the laser light show part of the movie.
Yes, it is.
It's all the Christian movies suck by comparison. There are rainbow portals and they have a cloud fight. This musical number is the fucking best.
Oh, it's good. They're doing Care Bear stuff. Like, I'm on board. If you get to do Care Bear stuff in Hinduism, I'm totally in.
Cloud teeter-totter, stargasms.
2 votes.
And then there's flowers turning into butterflies. There's the cloud ball. It's great. But I feel like I must have taken too much acid and it's about to go downhill at this point.
Right.
Like Johnny Depp's about to peg me in the face with an orange and I'm going to wake up in a bathtub. What, Robin? Oh, fuck.
All right. Well, we're halfway through Vishnu's incarnation and damn if we earned a break. But first I got to give Act 3 the hard sell here. Do those noises smell purple to you? Have you ever really looked at a dollar bill? What the fuck was in that brownie? Find out the answers to these questions and more when we return for the joyously apocalyptic conclusion of Dashavatar.
Hi, I'm Heath Enwright.
And I'm Eli Bosnick.
Have you ever wanted to be our best friend?
Very best friend.
Well, then consider the Platinum Nights, coming to a live show near you.
You get to eat dinner with us, drink with us, and watch the movie for the show the next day.
You get a swag bag and the best seats.
Front row seats. You can win cool prizes and get all the inside jokes we make just for you the next day.
Can't afford Platinum Night?
Gross.
Check out VIP tickets, or even just good old regular seats.
But act now, because once these live shows are over, I'm not leaving my city for a fucking decade.
Platinum Night. Link in the show notes.
Hey, what are you guys doing in here?
Nothing.
Nothing. Fucking.
Nothing.
We're having sex with each other.
Sex. You were fast to that.
Yeah.
Good cover.
And we're back for more of this shit. When we last left off, King Bali was ruling the netherworld and all was right in the 3 worlds except for all the rampant arrogance and torture of the innocent and helpless. Of course.
Damn it. Everyone's always a dick.
Right? So now Vishnu incarnates as the son of Sage Dagni or something. And he reincarnates as a fucking axe warrior superhero this time.
Yeah, he's got a sweet whip, and when he shoots one arrow, it's a bunch of arrows, and he's got a sword jump. Quick note, should have closed with arrow into many arrows. Sword jump was kind of a de-escalation in that.
Yeah, if you just punched the top of a mountain off with your fist, jumping with a sword is not going to impress. Also, why a diaper?
Yeah, weird pick. Is this
odd choice?
Is this Vishnu now?
Yes.
Like all these cartoon dudes are looking the same to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that racist?
That is racist.
Is it cartoons?
It's cartoon racist.
But they have the races reversed, so maybe I'm pro whatever the opposite of this movie.
By Indian people, so it's not racist. I learned that.
Thank you,
Eli.
Well,
there you go. Okay,
not racist. That's on the record.
Now we hit right away. We get that this new incarnation of the Axe Warrior is like he's got the ninja skills and the whip and the multi-arrow thing and the mountain crushing. But more importantly, Brahma or Shiva or Vishnu, I can't even fucking tell, gives him an axe. All the gods look the same to me. That's racist for sure.
Godsist.
Yeah, exactly. A theist. No, fuck, damn. I was taken. But yeah, so
our show makes so much more money now.
But anyway, so he gets a magical axe that'll allow him to kill anybody. That's going to be super important. Then one day, on his farm, at his family's place, when he's away, they're feeding some of the king's men, and the king's men realize that they have one of their magic cows, and the king would love to have a magic cow.
What was magic about the cow? They claim that it fed everyone real fast. That's the
Did it cook? Did it make eggs?
How did the cow feed? Yeah. Is there a giant chunk of meat missing facing away from the cartoon camera? What the fuck's happening?
That cow, by the way, I Googled it. That cow is like a special magic cow that Hindus believe in. And that is otherwise known as the mother of all cows. And sometimes she has a woman's torso and a cow's lower body.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no. Now I'm on board.
Well, and now that makes this line make a lot more sense, right? Because the guy comes up to Axe Warrior Vishnu's dad and says, hey, man, we want the cow, name your price. And he's like, I couldn't sell that cow. That cow is like my mother.
Which is the second creepiest answer you could give about that cow.
Just cut to the farmer and like combo gods, 3 heads all breastfeeding at the same time. See?
So, yeah, but he won't sell the cow. Well, damn it, they're not going to take no for an answer. So they take the cow in this absurdly emotional moment, right?
Yeah. So Vishnu comes back and he's like, oh, where's the cow? And they're like, they stole it. And he's like, why'd you let them steal the cow? And he's like, because I'm not axe guy who could shoot multiple arrows, dick. That's why. That's why I let them steal the cow. And then he has this amazing, like, you might be helpless, but I am not. I am going to kill and destroy all the bad people, which seemed like a weird escalation. Am I wrong? Was that not a weird?
Yeah, it got pretty bad pretty quick. Vishnu the Barbarian swearing cow vengeance is what happens.
Again, I'm confused by who's who. This is like, was the king not the same fucking cartoon as this guy who Vishnu's in now?
All of the fucking cartoons start looking the same real quick in this one. But no, this is a different guy, Axe Warrior Man.
Okay, question. If you guys were putting together a caste system, how would you rank everyone?
So
by height,
so
weight,
he heads to the palace.
Scotch.
Oh, wait.
So he heads to the palace to get his damn cow back, and he shows up and he's like trying to be all badass, but he's asking for a cow, so there's only so much he can do. He's like, give me back my cow.
Bring it on, bitches.
And so the king is pissed. He sends out an army against a guy with an axe. But that's okay because he looses some of those multi-fire arrows, which, by the way, you get by killing Lionels, if you didn't know.
Fire and fury like the world has never seen.
And he's just slaughtering this army.
Donald Trump just firing arrows at North Korea now. Here you go. One of these are going to work. I got these from a
Nobody's seen these.
Pow, pow. Have one of those. Pow, pow. Oh, that one almost caught the grass on fire. Pow, pow. Pow, pow.
Kill you with lawn darts.
You don't even have a bow. Pow, pow. My general said that this is how all wars start, but I don't believe them. Pow, pow. Pow.
I also love, too, that at this point,
closer.
While he's killing all of those people with his axe and his arrows and shit, the kids, right, that are watching along turn to the sage guy or whatever and go, isn't this kind of a fucked up thing to show a kid?
Exactly. They're like, hey, this is a weird cartoon. And he's like, close your eyes then. All right. If you don't like it, close your eyes. And the nymph is like, yeah, but I can still hear the people being murdered down below. And he's like, well, then close your ears. Whatever.
So she does. Yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, no, wait, that's much better. If I see no evil, hear no evil, this shit. So, yeah. So Vishnu kills every single one of these people. And now the king comes to like face off against him. The king, by the way, has 6 arms that regenerate when they're sliced off. Seems like the kind of thing we would have mentioned.
Yep. Yep. But he just, he's like, see, arms grow back. Gotcha. And then he just throws the axe at him and he's dead.
Yeah, where he uses it like an axorang. And he's like, yeah, regenerating arms doesn't really help if I hit you in the head with an axe. He's like, fuck, yeah, I didn't really think about that. We're inside and not outside. Anyway.
I said axes and not axes. Damn it. Wait. How does it work? Do you have to name
Didn't use it as an
axe?
axe.
Isn't that everything? Axes and not axes? Isn't that all the things?
That's all inclusive.
And so now Vishnu has killed everybody. So he returns with the cow that he just massacred thousands of people over.
Yeah. Here's your fucking mom cow. Just don't lose her again. It was a whole thing.
And of course, since it's been 6 whole scenes or so since anyone vowed revenge against anyone, now the cow-thieving king's son vows to kill Ninja Vishnu the Barbarian.
Right. So they go and they kill his dad, and they're like, good. There. See, you killed our dad. We killed your dad. This is going to end well. This is all. You just killed a whole army of people and freaked out about a stolen, not murdered cow. So I'm sure this is going to be squaresies. See ya.
No more avenging, attacking heaven, which is done. We call the end of no more attack, avenging heaven.
Can't triple stamp a double stamp.
Yeah, exactly. It's over now.
And it's so easy the way that they just walk up to the guy's dad, the axe guy's dad, and they just kill him. They just like, what? Like, angry axe guy, he does a lot of angry standing. He should just do it next to the house. And
that would have saved a lot of problems.
A lot of the prey. He's invincible.
So Vishnu hears his mother crying out. So he runs back, and she says, oh, your dad was killed by the sons of the king that you murdered. Oh, I'm so very upset. Oh, if only someone would avenge this in the next scene.
And and this, my favorite 2 lines, he goes, they haven't killed my father. They have brought about their destruction.
It's like, that's not an or, that's an and.
That's what they have done. Right. And then he goes, the amount of times you have beaten your chest is the amount of times I will destroy their dynasty. And I wanted her to be like, so once? Because it's not like you could, are you going to bring him back and then destroy? All right. Enjoy your killing spree, hon. Work on your banter.
You got to stop. How many chest beats was? This is serious. We're counting chest beats. I'm deciding how many times to kill a fucking dynasty.
So now we get the second worst cartoon montage of all time. That would be the genocide montage.
He throws the axe and kills like 8,000 people.
Yep.
Like the axe just like shoots arrows while it's a boomerang or something. I don't know.
Who the fuck even knows?
I feel like arrows should go out and stop right before people and then hit them with an axe too.
Oh, that would be sweet. That would be sweet.
Yeah, the reverse.
We would make a much better religion than these guys did. I'm just saying.
I don't about arrows with PTSD.
Yeah.
Beating their wives.
All right, maybe we wouldn't. Who the hell knows? So
we'll work on that one.
Vishnu Goth gets done with his murder spree. He has wiped out an entire people. But he does get in trouble for that, right? Like an old sage shows up and goes like, dude, now all the people are dead. And he's like, but I got my cow. Nobody's fucking with my cow anymore.
And he's like, no, go sit in timeout for the rest of your life, this particular life.
Yeah.
Like, fine. I want to go to my room. That's where my stuff is. Spend the rest of my life in sacrifice and repentance. Fine.
And now we have the second moment where like the argument muse has to go see Vishnu and be like, dude, ever since your last incarnation where you killed everybody, things are super fucked up. Like that seemed like a bad idea over a cow. Can you fix that shit?
Right. And he's like, all right, new plan. I'm going to turn into a really good king and fix everything. The sage guy's like, oh, you can just turn into kings? Did that not seem like a good idea until now?
Man, bear, pig, you thought maybe that would be better, would be a man, bear, pig, or a turtle with a mountain.
Wanted to do the pig and lion stuff first. You know this. You know I like doing my lion thing and my pig
Got
thing.
the animal out of my system, and now I'm ready to be a good king.
Yeah. So this is the incarnation of the legendary King Ram, Prince of Ayodhya.
Mm-hmm. CD-ROMs are named after him. Fun fact.
Oh, well, there you go.
No.
Yeah. Different spelling. No, I think they
neither
named
is
random access memory
nope,
after
neither of those things.
Okay.
I don't know what that word means.
So that's 3 words. So, but he becomes a prince, but the queen wants his brother to be king, so she sends him out camping for 14 years.
Maybe maybe incarnate as shitty mom for a second and change your mind? One more word about who I incarnate as.
So the dad is like, dude, I'm sorry. I told her I would get her anything she wanted for her birthday, and she said she wanted you to be in exile for 4. I was not expecting that. I mean, like, that seemed really like a weird thing for her to say.
And he has this amazing, he's like, Dad, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends.
You're like, what?
Don't be such a dick.
But now we should point out that his brother Barat, the or whatever the fucking his brother's name was not in on this whole deal. This is just bitchy mom's fault. So we see him going out to his exile, but his brother shows up and he's like, "Hey man, super sorry about what a bitch my mom was." Whoa.
Hey bro.
Right?
Min, Brahmin. Whoa, bro. We're brothers.
It's the worst. Oh, I'm so sorry I said it was my idea to get the tiles. That is crazy. I don't know how she got that idea, but yeah, I'll keep your shoes on the throne while I'm ruling as king, so that everyone knows I saved your spot.
They argue back and forth and eventually decide that Ram's flip-flops get to be the king.
Like, what is the shoe thing? I don't understand. Like, hey, so what are we doing about this? Just don't exile yourself. Come back. Like, no, sorry, that won't work. And then, like, what if we do the shoe thing? Yes, we'll do it.
Yes.
We'll put the shoe on the throne, and then
I thought you were going to say we feed mom to a black lady while she's on fire. So I'm glad we switched at the last minute. We have good ideas.
Couldn't you just reincarnate as me? Don't start. Don't start. Stop it.
And now, okay, so he's in exile. The brother's off. He won't be in the story anymore. And now some chick we've never met really wants to fuck Ram. And she, like, pops out of the woods, just vag first, just like, hey, you want to fuck? Hey, come here. Look at this. Fuck this.
Yeah. And he's like, nah, sorry, I'm already married. And she's like, oh, well, if I kill your wife, will you marry me? And he's like, that is an odd step to take. It's an odd response to no.
He reacts a little too casual there. He finishes the sentence. It's like, what if you murder my wife right now? Nah. It's like a whole thing, paperwork. I don't know. Is that what you're going to say? Murder my... No, don't. I don't know.
But so he says no. He says no, even if you murder my wife, I still won't marry you. So she turns into the Wicked Witch of the Far East and starts chasing the wife around to kill her. So Ram chops off her nose.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something you have to be trying for, right? Like, you don't accidentally, your sword wouldn't even be at a nose chopping angle if that's not what you were trying to do.
He was going for a block and she leaned into it, maybe? He was like, like a wax off thing?
Why'd you move your face sideways?
Yeah, why did you look over there? It was a sound
this is
over
your
there.
fault.
So, yeah, but she vows revenge for him cutting her nose off because that's all this movie has. So she goes to see her brother.
The Raven.
Ravan, I believe is his name. Yeah.
Danny Trejo as a cartoon.
Seven-headed Danny Trejo, yeah. Well, yeah, 7 heads, but only when he's really pissed. You wouldn't like me when I'm multi-headed.
Yeah, okay, the movie's getting super lazy. Like, all right, you want to do extra heads for this guy? All right, let's give her 6. Let's give him 6 arms. Already did that. All right.
6 extra heads?
All right, 7 heads? Great.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
happy hour. Happy hour. Let's do it.
Yeah.
4 penises? Well, they're in there somewhere, yeah. So the 7-headed brother decides that they should challenge Ram to a video game tournament. I don't even know. They're like, well, we'll challenge him to games. He won't be able to resist. It's like, yeah, no, he really likes Axis and allies, I guess.
Right. And then he does an evil laugh with himself, which is very cool. I think that would be fun if you evil laugh. You have like a crowd, a hype man.
So the 7-headed bad guy and his uncle, I guess, who was also the evil. Yeah, they all look the same. Goes to the forest where Ram is and wants to lure Ram away. So he tells his uncle to turn into a golden deer.
And I wanted them to have a fight where he's like, how come I always have to be the deer? And he's like, you're the fucking deer. You're never the deer.
And what? I don't understand. Like, they're trying to, like, distract the good guys here with a shiny metallic deer with red eyes. Like, just natural whistling down, just in there, normal golden deer.
Golden deer with red eyes.
Red eyes, walking
Hanging
past.
out.
Well, also, it's so bizarre because the wife's like, oh, honey, look, it's a golden deer. I want that. And Ram's like, no, I'll kill it for you. Like, kill it for her? Really?
You think this is related to the shapeshifter from yesterday with the nose? We have to kill it? Nah,
Sure.
hold my beer.
Regular-
I got it.
Regular golden deer. So, yeah, so he sneaks off into the woods to try to kill the golden deer. And he does. But as soon as he does, it turns into his brother-in-law with an arrow in his neck.
No. That's the uncle. And the uncle now uses his voice imitation powers, which he has, to be like, oh, I am Ram. Come help me. Help me, I'm Ram.
Yeah, I see.
Ram.
Okay, yeah, that's the brother shows up later or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so
This plot makes sense.
Now
We've explained it correctly. Everybody's on board. You guys get it? Cool.
So while that's all going on, the seven-headed dude has disguised himself as a beggar and wants to go in and get the wife. But some other person who's also there has drawn a magic line that evil people can't cross around the house.
Yeah.
Like you do.
This is why poor people should have electric fence things on them. It would be.
Thank you.
I mean, we're going to find out what happens now.
Thank you. He cut all of that out of the other day's scathing, so no one's going to understand. We're on the same page, finally.
Okay.
So,
not saying which side of the electric fence we're on about it.
So now Ram realizes his wife's in danger. He's out in the woods, and he's like, oh, they're going to come for my wife. So he starts running, but of course he's too far away. She crosses the line to give the fake beggar alms, and he kidnaps her on his giant horse bird boat.
But it's like the most depressed bird ever. Really? They give us this crazy close-up on the bird's face. It's like Droopy Dog the bird for a while. And we just he's like 26 reasons why the bird. It's great.
And there's a great moment here that's related to the myth, but doesn't get explained in the cartoon. Another bird comes and tries to stop him from kidnapping her, and he kills it with a sword, and she reacts really emotionally. And that's because that's a character in the myth, but not in the cartoon.
Yeah, right.
So I was just like, that's a weird connection to have with that random bird that just tried to save you.
Dave! Yeah, right. No, that's it. But just as they're getting away, Gleek shows up. You guys remember Gleek?
Wonder Twins.
There is a flying monkey. This is Hanuman, the flying monkey, and he will be part of this story now. A flying monkey.
And he shows up with Top Gun ripoff music. It's off by like one note.
Oh, is it?
Vanilla Ice stole it and made Top Gun with it's really bad.
So the monkey shows up and he's like, don't worry, guys, I'll help you find your wife. First, let me grow to King Kong size, and then I'll Superman you guys over to Monkey Kingdom.
Monkey Kingdom!
This is really what's happening on screen. Okay, so now we have another song. This is the Hail to Ram song. And if you just plucked this out of the movie, like if there was one thing you wanted to watch and really get the insanity of it, watch this as a music video, right? The monkey fly-in montage where they build where the dolphins and the chipmunks all come and build a bridge for the monkey army.
And by the way, this bridge for the monkey army is based on this. Ram is so great. I looked this up. Ram is so great that if you write his name on rocks, they float and can support human weight.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the bridge they're building.
That was what. And that's what all the rocks had his name. Oh, wow, Jesus! And also the dolphins and chipmunks were apparently carving his name into. Okay, yeah, but then so the monkey finds Ram's wife, but just as he's about to get away, they lasso him and kidnap him, and then they set his tail on fire, so he escapes and burns their town to the ground with his fiery tail.
Yes, they light his tail on fire, and he's just like, joke's on you, Pacow. I have Alma breaking out of my ropes powers, and just runs over, lights their whole house on fire. And then we have a shot of him proudly standing next to like an entire burning city with people screaming and dying like, I did it.
Yes.
With like Sesame Street music playing, like the Muppet arsonist on Sesame Street.
Yes, absolutely. So then a giant version of Cheech shows up, but Ram kills him with an arrow. And then Ravan and Ram have to fight using arrows that each have a different Arkanoid power up.
Yeah, arrow fight.
They're like
Fucking
shooting each
arrow
other's
fight.
arrows out of the air and shit. Yeah, amazing.
Fun fact, one of the recommendations we've had for years is there is apparently a Bollywood movie that is a live action version of this story, and
Jesus
we
Christ.
are in.
Vito.
Live action Monkey Army? Fuck yes, dude. Fuck yes. I think your
Two
veto has
votes.
been overridden.
Nuclear
We need a
option.
two-thirds majority. So he
Fire
kills-
and fury like you've never seen.
So Ram kills Ravan by hitting him in the navel with an arrow. That's his weak spot. That's where he was glowing. And he gets his wife back, and then 14 years later, he's allowed to stop camping. So everybody says hooray, and Ram gets to be the king. And that's the end of that story, because now it's time for incarnation number 8. Now, before we get to this one, we have to meet our new evil king named Khans, who has really pissed off the earth goddess. So she goes to see Vishnu and is like, yeah, he's like set me on fire and just like plowing me, and not in a good way. You know what I mean? So
Pulling out of the Paris Accord. I really need you to come in. Take care of this.
So-
right now, someone is complaining to Vishnu about Trump, just so you know.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So he reincarnated as Kim Jong-un. So Vishnu says, hey, don't worry, Earth, and my wife, who is also concerned, I'm going to be born as Khan's sister's 8th kid, and I'll kill him as that. And for some fucking reason, Earth Goddess goes and says, hey, Khans, you think you're so badass? Vishnu's going to be born as your sister's 8th kid, and then he's going to kill you.
Oh, she's like that girlfriend who gets you into fights. She's like, my boyfriend knows fucking karate, and he'll kick the shit out of you. And you're like, hey, I took Taekwondo for 3 years when I was 8. Can you fucking not? I got to call an Uber, ask it to run over this guy? What are you doing?
Yeah. Vishnu's like, yeah, all right, so that's the plan. 8th kid, it's totally going to work. Just don't say it. You're on speaker phone. Really? What are you telling the guy for?
So he finds out. So he puts his sister in prison with her husband, and he's like, quick, have 8 babies so I can kill all of them.
And they do.
Why do you need to murder each baby?
You can't, yeah, right. You can't just kill the
Just
8th
kill
one.
the 8th one.
But the reason they have to do that is so that we can get an honest to God, I am not fucking kidding, it's in the movie baby killing montage.
Baby killing montage.
I had to go get my wife, right? Because like I have a general rule when I watch movies that if there's a baby killing montage, I have to stop for a while. So I go to my wife and she's like, are you taking a break? I'm like, yeah, there was a baby killing montage. She's like, no, there wasn't. I was like, no, come here. Look, there's a baby killing montage. And so they show like a series of babies. Now we're only seeing the shadow, right? So it's not violent, but they're killing these babies in these like ridiculously comical ways. And apparently the guy has to kill each baby a different way.
He's firing them out of cannons, drowning them. By the end, he's just like, all right, baby, you sit under this anvil covered in butter, but you have lactose intolerance. So then I filled your EpiPen with bees. This is 8 kids is a lot, guys. It's a lot.
Yeah. So, and also, by the way, the kids in the movie that are watching along with the sage and the nymph and everything are just like, well, it seems kind of fucked up. Why wouldn't he just be the first kid and them other 7 kids wouldn't have had to die? And he's like, yeah, who the fuck knows, right? Seems like a thing that Vishnu had an option to do.
Does he know about the positive integers less than 8? There's like, good, it's a handful of better numbers of kids to kill here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just another note for you, Vish.
So 7 dead kids in. One night, a blue baby just appears next to them, imprisoned with the mom and the dad and all the dead kids, I guess, that are probably still there. And the goddess shows up and says, hey, swap this baby out for some other person's baby.
What? How does this strategy work?
What happens to the other baby?
Why add a baby to the killing place? Just if you can make the baby leave that you don't want to die, don't bring one back in. It's a bait and switch for no reason, just to murder a baby, qua murdering a baby.
It's God's plan. They're like, yeah, 7 babies had to die. It's really sad. And then put a 9th baby in to under that. Okay, now this is a baby killing thing. This is about you liking babies die. This is on you now, Vishnu.
Man, this is a fucked up cartoon. And okay, so the dad has now carried the baby off to be swapped out with another baby. The evil King Khans shows up, and he's going to kill the baby that's there because there's a baby there. But actually, that baby turns out to be a god in disguise. Because I think, honestly, because even the people making this cartoon are like, we can't have him bring back a baby just to get murdered, guys. We're going
to draw a reasonable line
on
right
baby
here
murder.
on baby murder. We want to be rated G with 8 baby murders.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a row.
There's a limit, guys. They have a hard limit. Well, 9 because we did have the other baby murder earlier.
Rated
in the movie.
G for Ganesh.
So now we get
Killing
baby
it.
Vishnu, and this is apparently Krishna, who is blue. Krishna is blue like Vishnu. And Krishna is a little kid that's just always causing mischief and eating butter by the handful.
It's Heath, it's baby Heath.
Oh man! Remember when your mom would suspend a pot of butter from the ceiling?
And you'd have
Good
to find a way
times.
to climb up on your friends to get it.
But don't use your hands. I mean, gross. Like, use a spoon.
Well, also, so the mom comes in, like Krishna gets the butter, and the mom comes in and says, Krishna, you ate all the butter, didn't you? And Krishna's like, no, I didn't eat any. She's like, let me look in your mouth. She looks in his mouth, and there's a galaxy in there.
Saturn hits mom in the face. Wait a minute. Something.
Like, fuck, fine, you can have the butter. Jesus.
Right? And then he grows up, and everyone wants to fuck him.
Everyone wants to fuck Krishna.
Including the small children in heaven that are like helping us tell this story. It's adorable. It's a good choice.
No, I would
movie.
fuck. I would
Little girls
fuck.
like, no, blue dicks, blue. I'm 6.
But Krishna's like, hey, because they're all fighting over him. They're like, no, I want to dance with Krishna. He's like, hey. How about an orgy?
Yeah, no, he splits himself into like 4 different hymns, like Dr. Manhattan, and they all and he fucks everybody. And then we get another song about how fun it is for everyone to fuck Krishna.
Yep.
This one has a
much
flute.
Better than Judeo-Christian religions. When did Muhammad split himself into 4 Muhammads to fuck a bunch of 9-year-olds?
Right.
Never.
Right. So
Daisy chain works regardless. Fine, whatever. Fine. I'm 7 blue dicks now. You happy?
So now we cut to heaven, and the gods are all pissed off that nobody wants to fuck them anymore because everybody's worried about fucking Krishna. So Indra's going to start some shit. He's going to start some storms and some earthquakes and whatnot.
Just fire this guy. Let's fire this guy.
Yeah, he's not doing a great job as head god.
Do a little housekeeping.
Indra really not doing the work. We do not like this guy.
But you know what? It's up to Congress to impeach his ass. So let's make sure we put some of the blame there. Now, okay. I love because Krishna is like, oh, lightning and earthquakes and shit. It must be that the gods are so pissed because so many women want to fuck me. And I know that guy, right? I know several of that. Oh, there's storms. Must be the gods angry at how hot I am. So Krishna, though, is so badass that Krishna's like, oh, you got lightning and shit? Here, I'll take care of that with my pinky. Just my pinky. It's all it takes.
And Indra's like, all right, man, you win.
Yeah, fuck, I got nothing, dude. I'm out. But meanwhile, Khans, the evil king, is super pissed about everybody loving Krishna so much.
Right. So he organizes a contest to like lure him in.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And the plan is they'll get him to the contest, and then these giant guys will kill him in wrestling.
Yeah, except Krishna's a better wrestler than all the giant guys. First, he has to break a bow in this thing.
So this is amazing.
Why?
I looked
Did that
this
happen?
up as well. Again, this is the cartoon doing a short version of a myth. Is like it's a bow breaking contest. This is supposed to be a super strong, unbreakable bow. But in the cartoon, it just looks like it's like, here is my finest bow. And Krishna just walks over and is like, snap, there you go, bitch. Yeah, you like
Fuck your bow.
Fuck your bro.
Yeah, ground my feet into his couch and fucked his bow.
And then, okay, so he beats the two big guys, but now he has to sword fight with the king, who he kills with a spear. And up in heaven, by the way, the kids are watching. They're like, yay, Vishnu, he killed more people. And the music says, whoa, whoa, whoa. He is just getting warmed up, guys. That's just one guy he killed. He's going to kill a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we get the Kurukshetra War, apparently.
Right. When this is the foundation of the Bhagavad Gita, right?
Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that war. And I'm just thinking to myself as we're watching this, I'm like, man, I bet Hindu Dan Carlin's show is awesome. Right? I want Dan Carlin to do this one. Crazy billionaire money. He would do this for me. All right.
Oh, that's our pod. We're going to acquire hardcore history. Dan, let us know what price you are asking, and we will make a very reasonable offer.
And if not, hey, you know what? We could just take the cow, too. I'm just saying. I've seen how well that works out.
Do you have a daughter? I'll kidnap your daughter.
So
I probably shouldn't.
No, you probably
kidnap
shouldn't.
Dan Carlin's daughter.
No, probably not.
As part of the negotiation, I should save that. Because he might be like, $5,000.
Yeah, right. Probably
Wait,
not.
what'd you say?
You're breaking my
$5,000.
balls, Dan Carlin. My balls, you're breaking them.
So,
All right, here's your daughter back. Sorry.
Yeah, so they're getting ready to go off to war in this probably fictional war. And the prince says, hey, I can't kill my own family. I'm related to these guys. And Krishna's like, hey, dude, don't be a dick. Do your fucking job. And this is where he reveals the Bhagavad Gita to him. Right? That's this war, this battle.
And while this battle's happening, we see the kids for a second. They're like watching, all like pumped about murder.
They want to fight each other.
They immediately like dive strangle each other.
Yeah,
like,
they're like, we're fighting in a war too. And this is to a Braveheart style cartoon battle, right? Like there are just massive deaths happening, and the kids are like, wee, fun.
What the fuck is Hinduism about? I'm so confused.
It's a religion. I'll let you know. My first day of Hindu church.
I will say, honestly, guys, they have the best holidays. As long as you don't mind
holidays.
As long as you don't mind bathing in a river with a lot of filthy people.
I do not mind that.
I didn't think you did.
I am 100% out.
Also, apparently, like it was a really big deal earlier when the axe murdery guy had multiplying arrows, but apparently everyone had magical arrows back in 3000 BCE India. But eventually, Krishna's side wins. They kill the most people. And then it's time to get to the final. This is the penultimate incarnation of Vishnu, but the last one we're really going to deal with in the cartoon. And this happens when once again everybody gets all goddamn stiff-necked after fucking Vishnu had fixed everything.
Fucking stiff-necked.
So the muse goes to prod Vishnu, and he's like, hey man, you know, like every time you leave, things start getting all stiff-necked and fucked up and shit. Can you go back? And he's like, yeah, don't worry. Now I'll reincarnate as the Buddha.
The Buddha.
Like Buddhism. Buddha.
That Buddha. Yeah.
Like we're switching religions.
Which religion is Buddha?
Hindu, obviously. No, but see, that's just the thing. Like, so the whole concept of the Hindu religion is that, like, no, it doesn't matter who your God is, we'll work them in. And if your God is, but my God is supreme and he can only, well, then he must have been an incarnation of Vishnu, who is the supreme God, right? So this is just this desperate effort to shoehorn 1,400 different faiths into one set of legends.
It's like real quick, Buddhism, that was us.
Yeah, right.
Remember Jesus? Yep, also us. Most people don't know
exactly,
that.
right.
Sounds like you guys are being real negative about the concept of compromise. Sorry about some compromise.
He's already coming to the defense of his religion here. So now we get the story of Siddhartha Buddha. His dad wants him to grow up to be an emperor, not singing some stupid play.
Yes!
So his dad orders that he never be shown the sorrow or pain of the world. Right.
I love this dad. This dad spends the entire movie just being like, I never want my kid to see a poor person. You fucking understand me? Not once.
This is a really good dad. He's alive. Yep.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Oh, are we not making jokes about Eli's dead dad anymore?
It's a little too soon.
When did that one run out?
I'm hurting.
I thought that one still had a lot of gas. All right.
Jesus Christ.
Dead dad.
You gotta wait until your dad dies.
Trying to get ahead while I can.
Show doesn't come out till Tuesday.
Dude. Your dad's dead already. Whatever. I don't like this anymore.
Dead dad race. Go.
Jesus Christ. If they had that at some point in this movie, I wouldn't have been super shocked. Anyway, so yeah. So, but the Buddha was like feeling imprisoned by all his white privilege. It's much browner white privilege, but whatever. So he goes around town. He says, hey, can I see town? I'm like 23. And Dad's like, okay. But he orders the guy taking him around. He's like, don't let him see any sad stuff. And the guy's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
And don't let him see any arm touch.
No. Just no. And he's trying to explain. They take this chariot trip and he's trying to explain all the suffering. He's like, hey, who's that thin guy? And he's like, that just happens when you get old. And he's like, why is that guy coughing up blood? And he's like, ate too much blood, man. Don't eat too much. So many questions. Read your book. Watch Cars on the iPad.
So he decides to be a sage. And then he goes out and he sits under the Bodhi tree and attains nirvana and he starts Buddhism. That's how quickly we go through that. Right?
He's like, blah, 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 eightfold class, blah, 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 relatively good advice in comparison with the other religions like nonviolence and love, blah, blah, blah.
Real quick, Thetans, Volcano Demons, got it. That's us too. Locked in.
That's Incarnation 74. There's a whole thing. We don't want to get into it.
And the only reason Buddhism is better than the other religions is because it doesn't control any real countries that have bad.
By really comparison, bad I said by comparison.
Yeah, but well, tell a person murdered at the hands of Buddhist terrorists that, and they'll be like, no.
I'll tell both of those guys. I'll tell both of those guys.
You had a better shot at least. Probability wise.
So
weird
we also
anti-Buddhist turn this show is taking.
Well, no, but I get sick and fucking tired of this attitude that Buddhism is the good religion. No, it's fucking not. It's just as easy to use to like justify heinous, disgusting shit as anything else. Like go to a fucking Buddhist country where they're like, oh, you're blind? What the fuck did you do in your last life? And tell me what a good religion that is. Buddhism is only good in the sense that like the hippies in California that have their warped ass view of Buddhism that's really just getting high and saying smart sounding shit, and that's not Buddhism. So like bit of a pet peeve.
And they put blind people in their place, like you said. Take them down a peg.
And we were all talking about comparisons here. You were the one that started from zero. I'm just saying, I'm comparing Buddhists to Muslims.
Christians take a lot better care of their blind people. So, like I'm sure there's somebody in a Buddhist country right now going, don't get me wrong, Christians are pretty all right. They just show up with money for us and make us listen to their Bible and shit.
Coddling the blind. It's infantilizing. It's infantilizing.
Ooh, I need a safe space. I need a stick. Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm sorry. In the real world, you have to deal with the fact that you can't see.
Needed to be said. Thank you, Eli.
I'm brave. My guest next week, someone who would have been a Nazi 60 years ago. Come on in here. Pretend you're the new center.
So the king is all worried about all that nonviolence bullshit Buddha's preaching because he doesn't want his army to not want to fight. So they decide to kill Buddha. Now here's how they're going to do it. With a drunken elephant. Who did they let pick? Right?
What do you get this elephant all fucked up? Maybe it attacks him? You think?
That's the idea.
I want to see like a wasted elephant ninja just crawling on ceilings really quietly. Drops off the.
I'm gonna kill Buddha because he's a fucking asshole. Goes around telling everybody because doesn't give me any peanuts. Fucking drunk elephants in our next Blue Apron ad. Now
Yeah.
that I've really locked that down.
Do you hear crunching peanut shells? Well, no, but I see an elephant on the ceiling dressed in all black.
Shush. You have any idea how long it took me to get this outfit?
How he got in my pajamas, I don't even know. But Buddha meditates the fuck out of that elephant, right? So the elephant comes to kill him, and then he's like, hold on, I'm meditating, and the elephant shaves its head and gets a robe and starts bothering people at airports and shit. It's pretty good. And then everybody becomes Buddhist, and everyone in India lives happily ever after. But we have to cut to the 21st century so that we know that this isn't like all good news, this movie with the baby murdering montages and the genocide.
We get some 9/11 and some war and some terrorists killing buses full of people.
Yes, in the cartoon, that's how it is. Now, but isn't this the kind of silly bullshit religion has to pull, though, right? Because they're like 21st century, and they show an airplane explode and a building explode and people shooting people, and I'm like, but that's not new to the 21st century, right? The thing that's blowing up, but the fact that we were killing each other is not new. The 21st century is defined by shit like technology and medicine and that kind of shit, the things that we got by rejecting all your superstitious bullshit. But of course, you can't admit that without admitting that your whole endeavor is antiquated, so you have to pretend that the hallmark of the 21st century is the number of people who die in war.
Made it warmer. It's a little bit warmer.
A little warmer.
Sorry,
Nice.
I got up on this high horse, it's really hard to get back down, apparently.
Got to shit on Buddhism and praise the 21st century. It's weird. Noah's coming from some weird places today. We are Buddhists on this show, and we hate technology. That is the strong
You were Hindu
standpoint.
earlier in the movie.
That was before I had to bathe with poor people.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Fucking Buddhists trying to nuke Guam. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
this whole
right?
century.
God damn it. All right, but then Vishnu shows up for sort of a little wrap up, tells the kid, hey, don't worry, kids. Eventually, I'm going to show up and destroy the entire world. And they're like, yay, destruction of all things.
He'll have a lightsaber. He's going to have a white horse and a lightsaber.
And a lightsaber.
A vigilante with a lightsaber. Like, they just tossed that in at the end. Like, I want to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the Hindu apocalypse movies would be so much better, too. God, we got to start doing this show in India.
Do they have an apocalypse in their thing?
Yeah, that's Kalki. That's him on with the lightsaber. That's the apocalypse.
Oh, how much do we need to pay Kirk Cameron to start making Hindu movies?
Right?
I think we just need to let him touch himself on the set of Different Strokes. And have a different guy wander by and tell him he's a Hindu.
It was Growing Pains. We know.
Was he on
Don't
Different
tweet us.
Strokes?
No,
Okay.
He was on Different Strokes. There was a crossover episode.
There was not. And then different times. Different Strokes wasn't even on
Google
at the same
it.
time, I don't think.
He different stroked himself, though.
Yeah,
That's
well,
true.
no, he did.
That's true.
So, and then so now the whole thing is over. The kids wake up in the temple. It was all a dream that they both had together, apparently. I mean, because they have the whole, was it a dream or wasn't it? Except for I'm like, but both of them had it and agree on the details. So no, it wasn't, obviously.
Right.
Fucking duh.
What the fuck are they saying in this movie? Are we supposed to be Buddhist or Hindu?
Well, you can be both, apparently.
Blue is better. Blue
yeah,
is better than white, which is better than brown. I think that's like the only thing I got.
Yeah, no, they ranked the races in this one, that's for sure.
Blue, white, brown. That's locked in.
And so the cops show up to arrest all the goons, and then the parents show up to protect the kids, and everyone lives happily ever after, I guess.
Yep.
All
Wherever
right,
there's injustice, Vishnu will be there. Like fucking Superman.
Yeah, exactly. He has a very Batman-esque ending right there. Yeah.
Hey,
He's the God we need.
I was never promised that wherever there's injustice, Jesus will be there. I'm just saying, aside from the poor people bathing, is there a rich person?
I'm sure there's a tributary just for the. I mean, look, there is definitely no culture that's more into the don't let the poor people's shadows touch me. So you're going to fit right in there.
All right. So we're going to, next week, the show is renamed. For our third year, we're going to call it Not All God Awful Movies. Just some gods are awful movies, especially Buddhism.
I love how he tried to throw me a bone at the end there. All right. Well, no, clearly we are all Hindus now because their movies are easier to beat off to. So I want to close off the review by asking you this. Now that you're a Hindu, Vishnu is going to be solving all the problems in your life. So which of Vishnu's incarnations will you be calling upon to solve which simple everyday problems, and how will we solve them? Just as a quick reminder, those incarnations available to you were fish that grows into a giant whale,
Fish whale. Got
mountain turtle,
Mhm.
boar,
Right.
man-godimal, honey, I blew up the sage, axe-wielding cow avenger, noble king, blue gigolo flautist,
Ooh, it's a tough call.
and Buddha.
Oh, okay. I'm going with the pneumatic lifting turtle.
Okay.
For moving assholes cars who don't officially use all the space when they're parallel
yes!
parking and take up multiple spots with half a full spot on each side of them.
We just get a giant snake, tie it around there, wrap it
Yep.
around. Yes.
And the turtles,
yes.
it just carries their car into the Hudson
Yeah,
River.
there you go. Man, I'll tell you what, being a Hindu is awesome so far. And Eli?
I'm going to go with Buddha to help me deal with some people on Twitter. Elephant. Bloom. You're blocked.
I'll do that for you. I could you just use a mouse or like.
You don't
really easy.
necessarily need to switch religions.
I'm not blue. I'm white. I'm almost as good.
Second place.
Yeah, exactly.
Silver medal.
Silver.
And while
you.
that does it for our review of Dashavatar, that isn't going to do it for the episode just yet, because we still need to coax you back for more. So Eli, tell us, what's on deck?
Exit.
By
Living Waters Ministries. Ray Comfort. This is his Jesus Can Cure Your Depression movie.
Oh no! Yes, okay. This is the one that he was advertising because, like, the guy, the bad musician that committed suicide, was in his movie before he committed suicide, right?
Lincoln Park guy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, the bad lyricist, not the bad musician. Awesome. Obviously,
And also Carrie, also Star Wars lady, Carrie.
Carrie
oh,
Fisher.
She's in it. Carrie
really?
Fisher.
So
he seems to think she killed herself. We're going to find out. It comes out on the 12th. It's on YouTube. It's going to be a great time.
Oh, God, we need more Hindu cartoons. And by the way, I just want to point out that based on the also suggested list, when I watched this on YouTube, there are 9,000 cartoon versions of these stories. So whenever we really need to, we can go back to Hindu cartoons.
2 votes.
So with that to look forward to, we're going to bring episode 104 to a merciful close. Once again, a huge thanks to all the Patreon donors that help make the show go. If you'd like to count yourself among their ranks, you can make a per episode donation at patreon.com/godawful and thereby earn early access to an ad-free version of every episode. You can also help us a ton by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes and by sharing the show on all your various social media platforms. And if you enjoyed this show, be sure to check out our sibling shows, The Scathing Atheist, The Skeptocrat, and Citation Needed, available on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever else podcasts live. If you have questions, comments, or cinematic suggestions, you can email godawfulmovies@gmail.com. Legal services for this podcast are provided by the law offices of P. Andrew Torres. Our theme song was written and performed by Ryan Slotnick of Evil Drafts on Mars. All other music was written and performed by our audio engineer, Morgan Clark, and was used with permission. Thanks again for giving us a chunk of your life this week. For Heath Enwright and Eli Bosnick, I'm Noah Lugeons, promising to work hard to earn another chunk next week. Until then, we'll leave you with the Breakfast Club close.
Don't go to India unless, just probably don't. Just don't.
Vishnu's gerbil incarnation was suspiciously missing from this film.
Vishnu finally incarnated as Elizabeth Warren in 2020. 2 years.
The very instant I started recording, they got a little closer and a little louder with the lawn shit. Hopefully that's not coming
They
out.
just like lean into frame.
Right,
to our office.
I'm on the show. Big
when
fans.
I interviewed Baba Brinkman, that happened like when we were living in Valdosta. The
Oh yeah, and the mower would go like a foot from where we were recording because they would go right behind the house where the office was.
Exactly, and we didn't really have control over when they record. I mean, we would just not record when they did that. But I had an interview scheduled, I couldn't reschedule it, and I told him, I'm like, hey man, there's going to be some really, really loud lawn mowing in the background, and just keep talking because it won't come through on your audio. Right. You know, I'll be able to get rid of it in the end. It's just going to be distracting as all fuck. You're on a podcast. That's what happens. And I think that's why he was mean to you at his show.
He wasn't mean to me. He was very polite. He saw me shoot my hand straight up into the air, and he was
said,
like,
"Oh,
so most of you know this one." He wasn't like,
I thought
this guy.
Thought we were all going to be
like
proud of
He
ourselves.
could have brought me up and asked me to walk him through it, and I would have ended our podcast right there and then. I would have been like, well, because most people who listen to rap are black, and they... Baba, you seem uncomfortable. Let me walk you through this. They commit more crimes, Baba, you see.
Yeah, well, we would have had to move to YouTube at least.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Quick 10 count here. Welcome back to the GAMcast, where each week we sample another selection from Christian cinema. I'm so excited I can't even get all the way through the sentence before I start diving into my joke. God damn it. I'm so excited for this movie. Morgan's into football too, but he's into college football. I don't get getting into college football because it's like I like football, but only when everybody's not really good.
Oh, he's from Texas.
Morgan,
He's
join
Texas
our
guy.
league. You could join our league that I am also going to be a part of. Putting a
some
lot of
fun.
money on the line this year. You seem like a betting man, Morgan. Get you some beard oil.
What?
Beard oil keeps your beard smooth.
I see.
Morgan gets it.
I like the wax.
All right, here we go. And not that I'm not. I don't want to like cut the conversation on waxing on and waxing off Morgan's beard short necessarily, but there are things we have to.
So many separate flights had to be
If I
booked.
stick it in the beard, am I going to be able to get it out? Do you want to be able to get it out? I think I'd like to be able to get it out. I think you'll get it out.
The preceding podcast was a production of Puzzle and a Thunderstorm LLC, copyright 2017, all rights reserved.